All right, welcome back. I'm late. Staph infection. I'm not a doctor, but where does it come from? And why does it seem impossible to find out where this bacteria originated? So, I'm going to share what I have found. And if you know anything else, maybe some of you are medical students, please fill in the gap. But I don't like the whole idea of staph infection just being something that's common in the environment. I question that. I seriously question that. Because the bacteria itself is found all over dogs at all times. And it's to the point where all the dog has to do is scratch itself, and you could have a gaping wound. Right? Now, I want y'all to listen to this doctor. Sorry about that. Y'all listen to what this doctor has to say on staph infections.
Staph infections are very common in humans. We have staph and strep germs on our skin and bodies all the time.
Where'd they come from? See, I just want to know, because people also have dead dog skin all over them all the time. That's a problem. If they're all over dogs all the time, talking about a bacteria now, which is microscopic, that means it's in the air and it's on us at all times. So my question is, if we remove the dog, will this bacteria eventually go away, or at least be, reduced, noticeably reduced? It's my question.
When you get cut or injured, something that injects or causes the staph to enter your skin, which is usually a natural barrier to the bacteria on our skin and in the outside world.
Okay, so when you're, a puncture wound or something, it's the same thing with a dog. That's why this stupid dogs sit there scratching themselves all the time. They can develop staph infection right there. You damage the skin, the bacteria gets inside.
It can start to reproduce and increase the population in that injury, then cause an inflammatory reaction in the tissue, and this is a staph infection. Staph infections are treated by opening up the area that's infected if it's a closed abscess type area, so that the staph and the purulence that collects there, which is cellular debris, can drain. You also use antibiotics, which are specifically designed to treat and attack the staph germ and kill it.
However, the staph infection passed from dogs to people is resistant to antibiotics. It's resistant. That's what it's known for. In fact, y'all put that as a part of its name, that it's resistant to antibiotics. That don't sound good, man. See, I don't like staph infection. It's too similar to sepsis and these other crazy diseases passed from dogs to people.
And that is the primary way to reduce the infection. Hand washing is also a good way to cut down on staph, because
hand washing is a good way. It sounds like it's all over the dog's dander, and then the dander goes airborne, and that's how it gets all over your body. That's why he said washing your hands can cut down on it. because the crap is still just floating around in the air. And you probably got a dog. If you're in the United States, most likely you got a dog in the house.
If you get cut or something, you have staph on your fingers and you rub the wounds or whatever, and you can push staph down into those wounds and make the infection occur. Staph and strep and other germs are commonly on your body at all times, from head to toe, in your mouth, in your nose.
From head to toe, in your mouth and in your nose. What does that tell you? It's airborne. How did it get in my mouth and in my nose? Telling me this is some type of bacteria that's only found on surfaces or something, that it's not airborne, that you have to touch it in order to get it on your body? Well, how it get in my mouth and nose? It's airborne because it's on the dog's dander. The bacteria itself doesn't always cause, wounds, and it doesn't always eat flesh. You just got to get that puncture. I don't trust stuff like this. Now, I'm not saying that I know or that I'm disproving or proving him wrong or anything like that. I'm saying I got questions because I'm suspicious that that staph comes from dogs, just like a lot of other things come from dogs.
In your mouth, in your nose, everywhere, and once
how'd it get everywhere, man? How it get everywhere? Oh Lord, if it's everywhere, all over our body, from head to toe, in our mouth and in our nose, dude, you're telling us it's in the air. So why don't you elaborate on that, bruh? You think you can just say something like that and walk away? No, hold on. Wow.
Enters the body's protective layer of skin, it can cause infections. Or if it gets inside the body where there's less movement of air, such as lungs and all, you can get staph infections of the lung and so forth. But the staph is present all the time, everywhere on your body and everybody else's body. There's also a new type of staph called methicillin-resistant staph.
That's it.
That is a much more serious infection because there are only a few antibiotics that can treat that bacteria.
That's one that comes from dogs, passed from dogs to humans.
And kill it. So particularly in hospitals, people must wash their hands and make sure they don't contact other patients or people that may have.
Sound like more dog filth to me. I blame these turd-faced, decrepit mutants for several infections. Serious infections that people have to deal with that have been proven to be zoonotic. But they continue to play games and test fate for nothing. Nothing at all. Jacqueline Durand still sticking her face in dogs' faces. Because if you refuse to be around the creature that did that to your face, something's wrong with you. So yeah, this article in Pet MD deals with staph in dogs. Okay? Look at that. Same with dogs with humans. Small amounts of this bacteria are normally found on dogs. Really? Like a lot of things found on dogs. A lot of nasty things. Why should I believe that this bacteria is floating through the air coming from a source other than the dog? Why should I believe it just floated from outer space, from Japan or China or somewhere, across the seas and just airborne. Why should I believe that? I'm more likely to believe that this bacteria comes from these mutants, just like a lot of other things come from these mutants, and only dogs. So I'm still doing my homework on that. Like I said, I view this platform as a study group. If you have any more information on staph infection, I'm trying to find out. Go ahead and leave it in the comment section of the video if you would, please. Now on to other recent news. We have, as always, an example of why I say dog owners are the worst people to have as neighbors. That's one. And also, training does not work. Training does not work. You cannot condition a dog to be harmless.
Well, a surveillance camera caught a brutal dog attack as it unfolded in a Grand Rapids woman's front yard. An attack her beloved Chihuahua barely survived. 13 on your sides. Jeremiah Brown is in the newsroom with us tonight. Jeremiah, clearly a very forceful, violent ordeal. Having watched the video, is the dog expected to survive this?
Charlie, Nyla's owner tells me that their two options right now are surgery or putting her down, and she tells me that the latter is not an option. Surgery for Nyla, however, comes at a large cost for the family. Stacy said she was letting Nyla out as usual when two huskies who were out in the neighborhood ran into the yard and attacked her Chihuahua.
I had turned my back.
See why you need a fence? You just can't trust your neighbors like that. You can't. Now, granted, it would be a tight-looking fence. It would look very antisocial. I don't care. I don't care. I like that it looks antisocial. You know what it actually looks like? It looks like your dumb mutt won't be able to run up onto my property. That's what it looked like to me. You can call it whatever you want. You want to call it antisocial? Fine, knock yourself out. I mean, who wants to, especially in your later years, who wants to be a 50, 60, 70, 80-year-old going out to get your mail and you got to deal with dogs?
Back for a second, and then when I went to turn back around, the dogs were like literally right there, and I went to go bring her in and they grabbed her.
The video shows the two huskies grabbing Nyla, who was leashed, and tossing her in the yard. Stacy says they were told that Nyla's stomach had been punctured.
And then, of course, in typical bad luck fashion, after the attack, the door was stuck and she was unable to close it. How unfortunate. Bad timing.
The video shows the two huskies grabbing Nyla, who was leashed, and tossing her in the yard. Stacy says they were told that Nyla's stomach had been punctured, and the options given to them were surgery or putting her down for her own comfort.
And the bacteria in the stomach, that's what they're worried about. And
it's always about the bacteria in the wound, people. I'm telling you. Do not let these dog people minimize dog bites. They love doing that. Oh, a little dog bite. And they think that if you simply have a small wound, maybe something that hardly broke the skin, that you're supposed to look at that as a minor thing. No, I don't think so. If it barely break the skin, you better barely go to the hospital. Or not barely. You better run to the hospital. And make sure that, and that won't really make sure. How many times we've read about people being discharged, sent home from the hospital, and then a few days later, sometimes weeks later, collapsing and dying. Just share the story like that. These things are extremely dangerous. Stay away from them. Keep your family away from them. And again, it should be a crime for these people to be bringing dogs into schools. Again, we know they're not sanitizing them every 5 to 10 minutes when they do this. At any point, or one of the students could have broken skin somewhere around. These people are sick, man.
That's what they're worried about, and they want to clean her stomach out. And that's really the main cost of everything, is the surgery is really expensive.
She says that the surgery will cost $5,000, money that she says she does not have.
That's how they milk dog owners. It's really with the vet bills. Oh yeah. They sell you a dog for $50. You end up putting $20,000 in it easy. Easy $20,000. I've heard stories where people put that much in their dog in a year. For something that's completely worthless. People spend a fortune. Could you imagine? Somebody spending $20,000, $30,000 on a pile of rocks, a pile of rubble, just for something that's completely and absolutely worthless. All the little emotional satisfaction you get from dogs, you can get it from other places and it'll be more effective. But yet you still waste your money on something 100% and completely worthless.
Does not have.
Don't want to put her down because that was a gift from my mom, and she has passed
away. A worthless mutt. A worthless mutt. Tell me about no gift. Gifts can be worthless too.
Had her since she was a little tiny little puppy, and it's just like we don't want to. I mean, she.
Look at her. She got staph on her right now. I can see staph on her shoulder. What is this? Y'all need to stop, man.
And it's just like we don't want to. I mean, she don't deserve that.
The Huskies are known in the neighborhood, according to Stacy, who says that she has never had any negative encounters with them until now.
If she...
Listen to this. Listen to what she says right here.
Until now.
If she was outside, they'd always kept going, you know, but the owner was there, so he had it under control. But since they were out roaming free...
Since they was out roaming free, the dog don't pay no attention to no training. That stupid training, again, it does not remove the dog's instincts. As soon as the owner is gone, or maybe even looking away, the dog will go against whatever you trained it. Go against your training, period. That training, dog training, is worthless.
Roaming free, there was no control.
The owner of the Huskies declined to speak on...
People, y'all gotta... Don't minimize what we do here. Me and all the other content creators. And I'm talking to the dog lovers right now. And the people in the middle of the road. Don't minimize what you see here. I would not feel comfortable calling any other group of professionals frauds and then talking about the content of their profession for hours. There's no way I'd do that. I'd get exposed. If I was talking about lawyer, any other line of doctors, because when you start talking about it, you're going to reveal that you don't know what you're talking about. If you're dealing with the content of that profession, we're doing that with dog culture. And none of the so-called professionals push back against us. Understand, many of us get more views than these trainers. Not all of these dog trainers got a large following. They would benefit by debunking something that we said. They don't, because they are not true professionals.
Camera, but admitted that his dogs do have a habit of escaping the property, even after they have tried to take measures to prevent it from occurring.
Okay, tried to take measures. Training don't work. It does not work. No such thing as a responsible dog owner. So he has to be there for the dogs not to attack.
Even posting on Facebook, asking for neighbors to look for his dogs when they have gotten out of the home before.
And as a pet owner, dog owner, I do understand they get loose, but it's not to the extent where they're roaming neighborhood. And
Why not? If they get loose, there's a good chance you won't be aware of it for a while. Maybe you let them in the backyard. You got a fenced-in backyard or front yard. It's fenced in. The dog dug a hole. It leapt over while you were in the house watching TV. Maybe you dozed off. Half hour, that'll go by fast. You know how much can be done in 30 minutes? This is part of dog culture. This is why they should not be legal.
you don't know what's going on, especially if you're having big dogs. But once your animal is not under your care or under your control, they're animals.
They're animals. What you talking about? No, they're dogs. All the other animals are out in nature doing just fine. They're animals right now. There's no chaos because dogs are not out. Once dogs are out with the other animals, there's chaos, and it's from the dog because they're despicable creatures. They're all bad. They're all horrible. All dogs are inherently bad. And I mean bad as in every way you can think of. I heard a journalist recently say that dogs deserve to live on this earth with us. It was in response to that guy who punched the dog. Y'all probably saw this viral video going around. There's a young black male. He held a pit bull up with one arm by its collar and punched it in the face with his other hand. The dog immediately submitted. They blurred it out though. And on that video, let me see if I can find it. On that video, this guy said, "Oh, the dog deserves to live on this earth like us." No, they don't. Here it is right here. No, they don't. Surface 23. It was uploaded here 23 hours ago. The story itself, I think, is about 2 days old. I told you I can't keep up with everything, but I try my best. If y'all hear about some stuff, feel free to leave a link. Say something to me somehow.
To a disturbing case of animal.
Wait a minute. Oh, they didn't even blur it out. See, this is why I didn't show it. Didn't even blur it out. And yeah, they actually got some input from the neighbors. The people who live in that community, and somebody made that statement. I'm not going to show this video though. A little too graphic. Pretty sure you've all seen it. If not, I'll share me a link in the chat room. How y'all doing today? This morning, at least this morning where I am. Shout out to all the members. Wish 143 in the building. I hate much. What is going on with y'all? Gym rats. In other news, we have attacks galore. That never stops.
Earlier today, a small but passionate group gathered at the state capitol to spread awareness about victims of dog attacks. The group is asking for changes that they believe will protect the community from future attacks. Karina Prieto is here for you with more.
This Dangerous Dog Awareness Ribbon is being given out today by the Responsible Citizens for Public Safety Group. Today they're pushing for more legislation to help keep our community safe from dangerous dogs.
Since August of last year, 4 people have been killed in Michigan by dangerous dogs. And my dog, Pearl, was killed 2 years ago today.
Leticia Spagnolo is the founder of Justice for Pearl and has become an advocate for law changes.
Like, I have a lot of PTSD, and I'm constantly worried about my other dogs being out in the yard.
She says the attack still affects her, and she was shocked to learn how many people and pets have been victims. The group is encouraging the enforcement of current laws, as well as some new ones.
Right now, there is no law that requires animal shelters and rescues to disclose a dog's bite history or aggressive history.
Okay, that's a good point to stop, to pause, and reflect on that, on what she just said. She said, and this is in Michigan, there's no law that says that shelters have to tell you about a dog's history. Now, we've been knowing that for a long time. We've been knowing that. And yet the dog lovers, y'all been riding on this idea that you can rehabilitate them. That's what the whole second chance thing's all about. So now y'all going back. Y'all starting to backpedal now. Because you were wrong in the first place. Should have never been giving them a second chance in the first place. Should have never been bringing them into the community at all. But then y'all took it a step further, saying that if it has ever attacked, it deserves a second chance. Blame the owner, right? Give it a new owner. It'll be a good dog. Don't give me that.
To disclose a dog's bite history or aggressive history.
They believe that the public has the right to know, to keep themselves and their pets safe.
Even if they tell you that it has no history of aggression, how would you know? How would you know? You don't know. There's no law that says that they have to tell you the truth. And there's no way for you to find out. That's what you want to hear? For you to take this dog home? Okay. It has no history of aggression. There you go. Enjoy your dog. As soon as you take it home, it bites your face off. Stop with this. This is foolishness. Now, it's not really foolish, but I'm saying this is y'all's doing. This second chance nonsense. Now you're backpedaling.
History.
They believe that the public has the right to know, to keep themselves and their pets safe.
People should know before they bring home a dog and then have it, attack their children.
Ma'am. I'd say about half all dog attacks, it's never shown aggression. It's been people saying they raised it from a puppy. This is foolish. Foolish talk. Why would you say something like this when so many scenarios proved it wrong? Just because a dog has no history of aggression does not mean that it will not attack in the future. It seemed like most dog attacks, most of them, they say it's never shown aggression. How crazy. They're still operating under the idea that if a dog has never shown aggression in the past, it never will in the future. Wow. I've once said it's so common, that's probably a predictor that it will attack in the future. If it doesn't have a history of aggression, then it's probably a higher chance that it will attack in the future, because that's its nature. That's their instinct. Y'all trying to suppress their instinct for the whole duration of its worthless life. It don't work like that. Your stupid love is not meant for dogs. and it doesn't work on them. You're training, all of that.
Dog and then have it, attack their children or kill their other pets or neighborhood pets. We want to avoid that kind of thing.
Victims shared their...
Yeah. They're most distraught about the dogs that have been attacked. Could have predicted that.
Their experiences with trying to get justice after being attacked and coping with the trauma.
We should never choose dangerous dogs over public safety.
Advocates say that although some breeds are known to attack more than others, their efforts are not against any specific dog.
Almost 40 people have been killed in Michigan by dogs, and that's way too many.
How irresponsible. How irresponsible is that? You're not serious about reducing dog attacks if the only thing you want to tackle is requiring shelters to tell you whether or not a dog has an aggressive history. I just can't take this seriously. Okay, this sounds like a bunch of dog lovers who want to project themselves as morally upright citizens without doing much of anything to impact dogs in society. You know full well these people can lie, and that they always lie. They lie all the time. So stop with that. And this is a recent thing. A few media outlets have run stories on it, but I'm not buying it. They got to do better than that. A 3-year-old had a chunk of his face ripped out by a dog. This story surfaced a few hours ago. I think about an hour or so ago. Brutally attacked by a dog outside school. The boy's father told 9 News that the loose dog tore a chunk out his face as he played in a park outside. The dad added that his son had been playing with a dog in a park next to the school when he was attacked. All right, Dad. Why are you letting a 3-year-old play with a dog? Out here pretending dogs are harmless again, are you? Yep. That's what you're doing. That's what all of you are doing. And you just can't stop. Just can't stop. No matter how many stories like this surface. Stick your face right back in it. Why are you letting a 3-year-old play with a dog? I don't like the way they worded it either. As if the 3-year-old was the father in the scenario. And what's crazy is how these former experts spin simple reports like this and say that the 3-year-old did something. Talk about wild guesses. Look at the actual stories, the scenarios. Like, how could you imply that this 3-year-old did something? Why would you? I don't care. Even if the 3-year-old went up to it and smacked it, who cares? Who cares? You've already made the mistake of having the thing around and giving it freedom in society as if it's harmless. What the youth does after you've already made that foolish mistake is irrelevant. So I don't want to hear about the behavior of young people. Get out of here. Boy, boy, boy. This article surfaced today, and it upset me. Talking about rabies. And look at the image they chose. You're going to show a raccoon and a cat. It's out the Ohio Department of Health. Ohio is a major nutter state. A raccoon and a cat, knowing full well that dogs are the chiefs of rabies and all other filth. The worst bacteria, we need to, stay mindful of this. The worst bacteria that we know of comes from dogs. It comes from dogs, people. And they're easily the worst. We've seen sepsis. Several times I've shown the staph infections. Many of you maybe have had staph infections. I've never had staph infection, at least not that I'm aware of. I did sustain an injury when I was in elementary school. I think I was in like the 5th grade. Well, I was running for some reason, and I stabbed my hand, the palm of my hand, and there was a little small hole, and it got worse over the next few days. And eventually it was like a hole in my hand. But it healed and went away. And it was kind of similar. It was kind of similar to staph, from what I remember. Of course, it was a long time ago. But staph infections, anything that eats your skin, is a major problem. I mean, these are infections that eat through your body. And then you look at sepsis, where your body basically rots. It rots. Turns completely black, and you need it amputated, or else you'll die. And all of this comes from the dog's bacteria. Oh, this is dog bacteria. They say it's universal. Oh, it comes from everything. Everything has it. But every time we see actual cases, it's always a dog. I'm very disappointed with gyms. I like the gym atmosphere, and I prefer it. I don't prefer working out at home. In fact, I strongly dislike it. I'd rather go to a gym. You get a lot of motivation from other people putting in work. But I refuse to use their equipment because of stuff like this. And I know many of those people probably got a dog waiting for them in a car. You know that they're hauling all types of dander and filth into the gyms. Took me a while to realize that the times when I would get sick, it was usually after being close to someone for a long time who was a dog owner, or it was after going into a dog owner's home. I'll never forget, I think I shared this story a few times, or when I got into this guy's car and his car seat was covered in dog fur, like literally dog hair everywhere, and it was all over my body. I got sick starting the next day, and it progressed and got worse over the next week. Now, maybe it was just bad timing, whatever. I took it as the dog got me sick. It was being around that nasty disease-ridden mutt that got me sick. And I blame dogs for a lot of things that make us sick, a lot of illnesses we deal with. It's sad that our medical professionals minimize how dangerous it is to swap saliva with these things. Over 65% of homes got dogs in them. Most of these people exchanging saliva with these things. Then you go out and exchange saliva with other people. Dangerous stuff. So y'all be careful. What's today? It's hump day already. This week is moving right along, and I feel good. Hope y'all staying worthless mutt free. Stay armed, stay ready. If you have to put in work, good luck. Hopefully you don't have to. And hopefully you'll be able to join me on the next live stream as we continue with this crusade.